We're building perfect mock drafts here in the Sportsocracy, thanks to at ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter, Mr. Flowstradamus, Jeremy Greene, and time to talk about the LA Rams.
This one's going to break several long-standing records for me. A, this is the first time I've ever done a mock draft where your first pick's a punter. B, this is the first mock draft I've ever done where I don't know literally anybody outside of that punter that you have brought in the building or that you're interested in because you are being weirdly tight-lipped about it. C, it's a bunch of guys that you're going to go, wait, who? Because this is the Rams, and that's what they do. So what I did was go, what are my best value guys at positions the Rams need? This is what I would do. I have no insight on the Rams outside of your first pick. That's me being as honest as I can possibly be.
Good for you. And I will say this, there are a couple of guys on this list that might just be living in a van down by the river.
Wait. I was a 7th-round pick in the NFL draft.
I don't know. Well, that and a nickel get you a hot cup of Jack Squat.
Chris Farley was the perfect comedian, and so he is the namesake of our A-plus perfect Chris Farley mock drafts here in the Sportsocracy. The first pick for the Los Angeles Rams comes up at the 3rd round, 104th overall, and Johnny Hekker's no longer around. He's at the Carolina Panthers now.
But we signed him. Don't care.
You might go out and get the best punter, Jeremy says, to ever enter the NFL draft.
Well, I mean, since they were wearing like leather helmets and could smoke heaters on the sideline, and there's so many more things I want to say right here, and I feel like I shouldn't because they'll probably get me in trouble.
From San Diego State, it's Matt Araiza.
Basically, this is the one piece of draft intel I have from the Rams. You better get Matt Araiza before 104 because they are not going to let him pass them. That's the one player that they have leaked that's been in the building.
Mm-hmm.
The only player they've leaked that's been in the building. So, I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know. He is a phenomenal punter, too. I mean, you look at this team and go, what do you really need outside of depth? What guy am I going to bring in that is really a high-level contributor early? Punter.
Yep, punter. Matt Araiza from San Diego State. In the 4th round, they have the 142nd overall pick, Chris Paul, guard out of Tulsa.
This kid's been pushed down solely because, well, his line mate, Tyler Smith, is getting so much hype because the Saints traded up, and we all believe that's where they're going. Chris Paul has played a lot. Oh, and by the way, there's a whole motherfucking lot of him. 6'4", 325. I mean, this is a developmental piece. He's an older rookie than you would really want. But I do feel like if, looking at the Rams, he got thrust into playing immediately, that would not be the worst thing. I do think he is good enough to be your 6th lineman off the jump. He's very versatile. Like I said, play tackle at Tulsa. I think he'll struggle with speed rushers on the outside in the NFL. But adding depth for the Rams, big deal. Chris Paul, not the point guard of the Suns, guard from Tulsa.
5th round, 175 overall, Kellen Diesch, Arizona State offensive tackle.
This is one of my favorite offensive linemen in this draft because nobody seems to want to acknowledge that he doesn't suck. Like, he should go drastically higher than this, but he's not going to because he's not a great athlete. Okay. He could come in and be your swing tackle immediately, and he projects to be a starting right tackle in the NFL, and you're going to get him here, which is insane.
This makes a lot of sense for a team like the Rams.
Because this is what they do. They go through and cherry-pick guys that fall further than they should, or they get guys that nobody's ever heard of. They draft them in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, and then they wind up being starters 2 years from now.
Yep. And getting major contracts from other teams.
The thing about Kellen Diesch, he's very good in the pass game right now. Going to have to round him into form as a run blocker. He was propped up doing that at Arizona State, and that will not happen in the NFL.
In the 6th round, the first of 3 picks for the Los Angeles Rams, 212, Gregory Jr., cornerback out of, how do you say this?
Ouachita Baptist.
Ouachita Baptist. I don't know. I'm guessing.
This is one of the better super small school players in this draft. really, you've gotten to this point and the hype has not gotten crazy on him. Obviously, he dominated the level of competition he played at Ouachita Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to watch the fluidity, which he has a lot of. He's got a very stereotypical body. I think you're going to have to make him stronger. Probably going to have to hide him off the jump. But if I had $1 for every time the Rams have pulled somebody out of a school that you couldn't pronounce and turned them into a legitimate player, I would have like $14 US. And that doesn't sound like much. That's like 14 times. I like this kid a lot. Very raw, because he has never in his life ever seen an NFL level receiver. So it's a lot of projection. One of the things I always talk about with corners is do your brain, your hips, and your feet line up in unison? And he does that very well.
Very next pick, 213 overall, Jarian Ely, running back out of Ole Miss.
He didn't run that fast, but I feel like some smart team's going to go, he's Darren Sproles.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what you do. I'm going to get you the ball in space and just let you take off, you little bastard. And that's, I mean, what I feel like shopping for the Rams is like shopping for Elon Musk. What do you buy for a guy that has $1 jillion and is real-life Batman? You don't have one of these. You don't have this dynamic little tiny guy that can just absolutely eviscerate you in space. But he's small and didn't run fast. I don't care. Scheme the ball into his hands and watch it happen.
219th overall in the 6th round, Braden Thomas, linebacker from North Dakota State.
He's become more popular later in the process. I did not see much of him initially, and I'll be honest with you, when you start getting into the double transfer guys, and they transferred from Minnesota State and the University of Mary. You went to the University of the Mother of Our Lord, and I don't know that I've ever heard of that place.
No, where is that?
6th, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's in Minnesota or up in that area where you fly over it and go, damn, there's not a lot of houses down there, is there? Height, weight, speed's fantastic. Obviously, he was very productive at North Dakota State, which is encouraging. There's just not a whole lot there's not a great depth of tape of what do you look like against NFL level competition. So to me, you sit him on a practice squad. He does project to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. I wish he was a little bit faster, but he's got the frame is fantastic. I mean, he's a player that he wins walking through the lobby of the hotel. I just wish he was a little bit faster, round the technique into frame, and see what you got.
In the 7th round, 2 picks for the Rams. The first one at 239th. Lucas Krull, the Warrior King, the tight end out of Pittsburgh.
Well, since this is the last of our perfect A-plus mock drafts, the next 2 guys are both players that play at positions that I feel like the Rams could use. B, they're players I really like that I have not had the chance to talk about. C, those 2 things together, they make C. A plus B equals C. Lucas Krull there's a lot of raw in him. He's not as good of a blocker as you would like him to be because he's built like he should be. He's a fucking giant. Very raw, good hands. He's going to be a 3rd tight end. And I know you've got Jacob Harris and from the Super Bowl. Shit. Yep, that guy. Insert thought here. I'm going to superimpose a name there when I remember it.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to figure out where the fuck University of Mary is. It's in Bismarck, North Dakota, by the way. The Mary Marauders.
He went to Jehovah's Mother University. Lucas Krull, look, there's a lot of raw, and you're at the very end of the draft here, which of course there is. But you get an NFL body. I think there is. I've seen enough of him block decently that I think if you round out the technique and you really work with him, he's the exact opposite of Jacob Harris. Jacob Harris is going to be, I still believe, going to be a really good weapon and a good target. Lucas Krull will be hey, you need 3 yards? I'll get you 4. I need 7 yards. I'll get you 4. That's what I do.
4, that's all I can do.
I come in and be's big and have big, giant hands. He does have. By the way, he got the extra length of hand that Kenny Pickett lost with his little scoot hands.
Aww. Poor Kenny.
You had to know, since Kenny Pickett's not the ideal pick for any team in the NFL, I was going to make a Kenny Pickett small hands joke at some point.
Also in the 7th round, 254 overall, Juanye Thomas, safety, linebacker, hybrid guy, JOK, I guess.
No.
The Joker role.
That's what I think he would play.
I think that's how we need to abbreviate that.
JOK?
Yeah.
What, for Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah?
Why not?
What's funny is that's not in any way the position he plays, and you say that every single time.
Because I see it in my head. Like, eventually we're going to have this on a depth chart, and that's how they're going to do it. It's going to be the JOK.
Juanye Thomas comes in and I think would be a special teams ace right off the jump. He's super athletic, but right now he's more athlete than he is football player. There's some encouraging. He plays like his hair's on fire a lot, and I think his best future projection in the NFL is as a sub linebacker that comes in, because he's not a liability in coverage right now, but he gets out of position from time to time. His feet are not necessarily super disciplined. So if you keep him as a safety, you're going to have to completely rebuild him. Or you can look at him and go, hey, you play like somebody on the other side pissed you off real bad. So let's move you down a little bit and not ask you to do as many things in coverage, and just be aggressive and physical and go get after ball carriers. That's what he does best, and that's what will get him drafted.
Juanye Thomas out of Georgia Tech, the final pick for the Los Angeles Rams. A whole lot of late round talent to be had in this draft, and if any team's going to find it, if any team's going to have the perfect haul of those late guys, it's going to be the LA Rams.
Oh, yeah, the Rams are probably going to find some way to come out of this with 3 starters 2 years from now.
Right.
But if you like this draft, if you don't, if there's a player you would like to ask how they fit with the LA Rams, we would love that, since your team is being super weird about who they're targeting. Drastically more so than any other team in the NFL. Feel free to put those in the comments. We'll be doing my final mock draft, pick by pick, the week of the 2022 NFL Draft, which is a week from now. And we'll be live for every pick of the draft right here on YouTube.
And here in the Ingles studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get all of our content, team-by-team content, throughout the NFL season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, how lovely are thy prospects.
And we will see you next time.